afternoon. I'm Harriet Agbinyi, live on Channels Television, your home for the news. Welcome to a special live coverage and panel discussion of the second Nigeria Monetary Policy Committee for the year. Now, the two-day rate-setting meeting of the committee ends today. And some minutes from now, the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, will read a communique of the considerations and decisions reached by the members. This meeting will be coming on the back of slightly improved macroeconomic environment and, of course, foreign exchange administration. At its last meeting, that was in January, the committee decided to retain monetary policy rate at 14%, retain cash reserve ratio at 22.5%, and maintain the asymmetric corridor at plus 200 and minus 500 basis points around the monetary policy rate, and, of course, also retained liquidity ratio at 30%. Now let's take a look at some of the issues expected to be in focus at this meeting. The government, that's the federal government, released the much-awaited Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, which is planned to run from 2017 to 2020 and is designed to lift the economy out of recession if properly implemented. Now, the ERGP forecasts the economy to recover from a 1.5% contraction in full year 2016 to a 2.2% expansion in full year 2017, while inflation should moderate from 18.6% in 2016 to 15.7%. So let's get that in a clearer perspective. In the fourth quarter of 2016, GDP contracted 1.3%, but full year 2016, it contracted 1.5%, the first annual GDP contraction in over 2 decades. Now, inflation report for the month of February 2017 indicated a moderation to 17.78 from 18.7% recorded in January 2017, though we witnessed higher food inflation, which came in at 16%, and we had core inflation at 18.53%. The foreign exchange market has also recently witnessed increased liquidity. As at March 16, foreign reserves stood at 30.30 billion naira on the back of improved global oil prices, currently around $52 per barrel, as well as gains from improved domestic oil output. At the currencies market, the CBN's new FX directives to banks to provide personal travel allowance and BTA between 24 hours and medical as well as school fees between 48 hours to meet demand has also eased some of the pressures in the parallel market, with exchange rate appreciating about 14.3% since the announcement. Let's also take a look at what the Purchasing Managers Index looks like. For the month of February, that came in at 44.6, with production level at 45.2, according to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria. So now that we have a bit of a background, let me introduce to you the studio panel team of experts who will discuss the March 21, 2017 Monetary Policy Committee communique of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So let's start with my first guest from my immediate left, Oluwale Olusi, who is a senior analyst, investment research at AfriInvest. Oluwale, it's great to have you join me on the program today.
Good afternoon, Harriet.
And next to Oluwale is Oluseun Adesoye, who is the CEO, Associated Asset Managers. It's great to have you on the program, Oluseun.
Thanks for having me.
And next to Oluseun is Ayodele Akinwumi, who is the head of research at FSDH Merchant Bank.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's great to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
So let's start off with the general question that everybody seems to be asking. Right about now, we're counting down to when Mr. Godwin Emefiele will make the announcement. And it seems there's a general reaction already, general consensus, that it's still going to be a wait-and-see kind of approach that the committee will adopt. Well, let me start with you. We've had conversations on this program a number of times on this particular issue. Just give us your perspectives. What are your expectations from this meeting?
Okay, thank you for having me, Harriet. I think for the meeting, I mean, like you said, general expectation is expected to be, that the MPC will hold our rates the way they are. And the reasons are not far-fetched. Is either you go down or you go up or you stay where you are. Now, what are the reasons for an increase in rates? Why would you want to increase rates when inflation is moderating and you are already tightening I mean, maybe you want to look at increasing foreign capital inflow into the economy. But what about growth? There's an argument for growth in domestic economy. We are in a recession. There's an EGRP that is suggesting that the economy, that is trying to pull out the economy from recession at the moment. So, I mean, maybe the argument for growth, for an increase in rates, a further tightening, is not going to be that plausible. Manufacturers will start shouting all over again. But if you look at the other way around, do you want to start easing now? Why would you want to do that when in the global space, you just saw the US Fed increase their interest rate? That's a stronger dollar. That's pressure on emerging market and frontier economies. So I mean, maybe it's not the right time to want to say you want to reduce rate because of the impact on foreign capital flow. But then again, if you stay where you are, looking at the gains you've seen in the recent period, I mean, we've seen some convergence in exchange rates, the official market and the parallel market, and based on the because of base effect, inflation have also started showing signs of moderation. So maybe we want to wait a bit to see how all of this pan out before we want to start tweaking rates at the moment. I think that's what most analysts are saying, and they're saying, okay, maybe